We're good.
Welcome, everybody, to Superlemon Haze. That motherfucker Will was supposed to record this episode for us today, but that guy is literally dying from the coronavirus.
Will's got the corona.
He called me, or actually I said he texted me. I texted him like 10 times this morning because we're both dads. We both have families. And he's like, 3 days ago, he's like, all right, man, guarantee you we're going to talk 1 o'clock on Saturday. I'm like, dude, you know, that's like the most inconvenient time for dads or families to just like stop the fucking day and start recording a podcast. He's like, no, I understand, man. It's okay. We'll do it. We'll do it. It'll be good, man. I'll produce your shit. I want to make you music. I'm going to fucking rock your world, man. It's going to be awesome. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I confirmed with him yesterday and fucking I'm texting him 10 times today. No word, no word, no word, no word. And like 1:30, as Scott and I are ready to fucking go, we already shut down the families. His wife's having a fucking picnic with his kids. My kids are just like, my daughter's asleep. My wife's upstairs. My mother-in-law is going to come over in 10 minutes. She's going to go right upstairs. There's no Will. Where the fuck is Will?
My wife's having a picnic and I'm having a beer with Eric. Fuck you, Will. You really fucked me.
And I'm like, fuck you, Will. We're going to fucking do this on our own. And I'm going to send you the motherfucking tape. And you're going to put this on the YouTube. And this is episode 1. And we're ready to roll.
Yeah. Will really ruined my whole screwed my Saturday.
Yeah. Killed a buzz. As you can see, this glass was full. These are double IPAs, obviously. So these are strong fucking beers. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday.
Oh, well.
We had a good buzz riding, and then all of a sudden, no fucking Will.
Sure as Will. You son of a bitch.
All right, here we roll. So I wanted to do just a little backstory on how we even got here. Most people don't even know who the fuck we are. And I'll just go back to, I think it was February 26th. It was a Wednesday.
A long ago in a far away
Almost
place.
a fucking month ago, man. We've gone a long fucking way in four goddamn weeks. But first of all, if I want to apologize to the Minihane world, because I actually think I'm the reason why Kirk went into the hospital. So that Monday was the day that Steve was suspended, and he was suspended for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And on Wednesday, because I'm a big Steve guy, I'm a big Steve fan.
Outraged.
So outraged that I figured out where the studio was. I made a fucking sign. I stood outside their building for probably 45 minutes. And I think on their Instagram page, the signs, because I gave him my signs. I went back again, as you can see. These are my second signs. But that was to support the motherfucker. This time was to say to Kirk that we fucking lost confidence in that guy. Because we all, I think, were really upset about that suspension. You know, we thought that it was way overboard and, you know, he was sort of a scapegoat. So I went in with my fucking sign. I was on my way to work. And I stood out there for 45 minutes in front of traffic, waving my sign, blind Mike. And I think Matt was producing that morning. Matt came out, put me on camera. I gave my 2-second spiel. And basically the whole message was, Kirk, you fucking suck. We lost confidence. You as our leader. Bring back Steve. And 2 days later, Kirk makes that announcement, and he's in the fucking hospital. So
we're hanging out at a pool, and I come to realize that you're some sort of sick, twisted Minifan as your neighbor, and all of a sudden we start kind of having a conversation about what we can do and how you can drag me into this craziness. And here we are.
Better story is we just had a vacation for my wife's birthday and for their getaway. And we all scheduled this. We scheduled to go at the same time. Actually, this motherfucker sold me this trip a month prior. And I'm like, all right, we're going. So we go. We're sitting by the pool. First fucking day. We're getting drunk. We're getting high. And I say to him, dude, man, I love this podcast. He's a big Barstool guy. I've been a Barstool and a KMS guy for a long time. And I'm like, dude, you'll never guess what I just fucking did 2 days ago. I'm like, I jumped out of my fucking car with a goddamn sign, waving this poster in the middle of fucking Main Street in Watertown. And he's like, you're fucking crazy, man. And then like my wife overhears.
Happens to hear the conversation.
Yeah. And she's like, you did what? And I'm like a 40-year-old guy. I've got 3 kids with a fucking serious job. And she's like, you're doing what? You're waving a fucking sign in the middle of a main street outside of a studio. What's wrong with you? And that was like the first introduction to this whole thing. And I'm like, you know what? And then I was secretly saying to Scott, I'm like, dude, I'm all in on this fucking thing. So we're shooting the shit. I'm telling him, like, I probably spoke to him for hours about this podcast and why I love it so much and why it's, you know, it's extremely entertaining to me, and what kind of
And I'm in now listening to Mike talk about the fact that you shouldn't even know where the fucking studio is. And like how did you even figure this out? I'm fascinated.
Yeah,
It's all good.
I feel like
I'm
a
in
fucking stalker. I know that my antics were similar to that of like a crazy girl trying to get on a first date with a guy who they just thought was like the most popular kid in school. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna keep going until they notice me. I'm gonna do really dumb fucking things and I'm gonna annoy him. And I think on one of the, I might have been trash talk, Mike's like, yeah, that guy's my least favorite guy right now is this guy Eric from Super Lemon Haze. And again, I think I'm a no one in this whole fucking world. There's a lot of superstars out there, and you know who you are. I'm not trying to be a superstar by any means. I'm not trying to even get my name out there. But all that happened on that trip between Scott and I is like, listen, man, we groove really well. He's my next door neighbor. We talk and we fucking politic all the time. I'm like, let's just fucking do a podcast. And I'm just like, there's this whole thing about health and wellness going on within this community. There's a whole like mental health thing going on. I've got that background. I'm gonna fucking push that angle. And Scott, your angle is what? What the fuck are you doing here?
I guess I'm kind of here to talk about some weed. Maybe talk about some mental health. Maybe some alternative medicine.
This is the fucking fan. This is the fucking Super Lemon Haze. This is where the whole fucking name came from.
I got him a little excited about Super Lemon Haze and being a little bit of a vape guy while we were on vacation, and here we are. Now this is what we got going on.
So we're fucking shooting the shit. He's coming from one side. I'm coming from the other. He's thinking, I'm all mental health, physical health, dude. I'm coming from an all natural place. He's trying to convince me that, marijuana is definitely something that people should try to experiment with. We're all experimenting with all the fucking other super pharmaceutical, heavy, intense shit. So why not try something more natural? So we had this whole conversation, and then we made a video. Maybe I'll post that video, but we pitched a video. We were fucking chilling out with our wives at the pool. We took a break. We went to the side. Our wife was like, where the fuck are you guys going? I did like a 2-minute video on my iPhone, send it to Steve, send it to Mike. And I'm like, hey, we've got this fucking idea. And this is when everyone was kind of craving for some content because, Kirk was in the hospital for an unknown amount of time. And we're like, let's fucking do something. And we made a pitch, and it wasn't really bought into right away. And I think the story goes is that these guys were like, do an episode, send it to us. So we did. I bought all this fucking equipment. It wasn't an intense investment, as most people know, but we bought some mics, we bought some headphones. We've definitely upgraded since then. But the idea was we're going to produce a show. I'm going to send it to them, and then they're going to read it. They're going to look at it. They're going to listen to it, tell us what they think. And we got fucking shot down.
Crushed.
They fucking said, no fucking way. This sucks. Steve's like, Kirk's not going to love this.
We don't need a weed podcast.
We don't want to fucking talk about weed. I think that was the first thing that Steve said is,
it's a weed podcast.
Yeah. He's like, what? We love weed. And yes, we do love weed, but that's not what this podcast is about. I'm like, did you listen to the episode? And I asked that straight up to Mike. I called him on one of his fucking what's it called? Call for Geary things, whatever the fuck he's calling it right now. He changes the name every goddamn day. And I call and I'm like, dude, did you fucking listen to the podcast? He's like, nah, I didn't fucking listen to the podcast. I'm like, that fucking sucks. You're not showing up, man. I want to fucking know if you heard our shit. And he's like, no, didn't hear it, but sounds like it's well produced. Well, bottom line is that, we enjoy doing the first one so well together that we just kept going. So now we've got fucking 4 on our YouTube channel. And I said this, like, again, we're not in this for fucking clout. We're not doing this. We're not fucking uploading this to some sort of what is it called? SMS feed? I don't even know what these fucking things are.
We're doing this on like a Tuesday night, like hunkered down in a kitchen or in a dining room. Like, just trying to have a good time and hang out.
Fucking, we're doing everything on the fly. Or I'm fucking ordering. I got Amazon. I'm like fucking ordering everything. I'm like, oh, I don't know how to fucking do that. Oh, it doesn't sound like shit. Oh, I'll just order this on Amazon. So
running it through an Apple from 2012.
Yeah. So bottom line is that they fucking hated our shit. And then I harassed the fucking hell out of them. I harassed them on every channel, on every YouTube. And it wasn't because I was trying to be annoying, which is the way I think it came out. I think, what I was feeling was that I really loved what we were speaking about and what we were talking about. And I think the messages in all of the episodes, the 4 episodes that we put on our YouTube channel, each one just got better and better and better. I'm like, you know what? I just want them to fucking hear this. And so I guess because I started to get some attention, again, coming back to that crazy chick, like throwing rocks at your window and trying to get your attention in school and like bumping into you and spilling my milk all over you. Like I was really trying, I guess at that point, I was like, I got their attention. So like, I'm just going to keep getting their attention. And then eventually what started to happen was I think what started to turn into something negative, it came up on the KMS show the other week, and they're like, yeah, this guy came by again. And I came by not as a protester, but I came by in support. So when Kirk came back, I think he did an initial show on a Monday or on a Sunday, whatever day they taped. It played on a Monday, and then I knew he was coming back on the Wednesday, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna fucking go back on my way to work. And this is before the city of Boston shut down, and like, you know, we all were like quarantined in our own fucking houses. And plus, how far are we away from each other?
We are probably
this is not 6 feet.
We're not 6 feet,
No.
but our houses are barely 6 feet.
Yeah.
So
we
it is
figured
what it
if he's
is.
got fucking corona,
We've
I got
already
fucking
been exposed,
corona.
unfortunately,
Yeah. And
even
we're
if
also
we were,
sharing a pen. So yeah, that ain't good.
Sorry. It is
Bottom
what
line
it
is that I knew they were taping, and this time I went to support Kirk because the bottom line is that I only did the fucking first thing was just, you know, because I was completely upset and I thought it was a really bad move for him to shut down Steve for those couple of days. This time I was like, you know what? I want to fucking say we love you, Kirk, whatever. So I made these 2 fucking signs, Podcast Jesus, and this other one, Barstool is brave, WEI is not. And that was, you know, basically based off the, you know, that video that Erica Nardini made when she went on that talk show and just talked about how, you know, she stands behind her talent. And even during this, you know, during the time where, you know, Kirk initially went off the air, a lot of those guys from Barstool really showed a lot of their support and put a lot of videos out there. So I just wanted to say, and then EEI, we know for a fact they fucking suck. I hate EEI. I can't wait for that fucking radio station to burn to the goddamn motherfucking ground. And again, 2 completely opposite companies who support and do not support their employees. And I needed to make that sign. So again, I'm out there on fucking Main Street, and this time I had to tell my wife, I'm like, okay, just so you know,
you might see this.
Yeah. I'm like, just so you know, I'm gonna fucking go out there with 2 signs this time. And of course her eyes roll back in her head.
Come up in the public.
Yeah.
Sorry,
and I'm like, but I have to do it. I have to make up for the first time that I did it. I really felt for a brief second that I actually did participate in Kirk getting put into the hospital. I know that I don't. I didn't play a role in it, but like I was like, oh, I felt really bad about that anyway. But anyway, I went in, wanted to show his support, made those 2 fucking signs, waved them out there. But again, started getting some more feedback from Mike and from other people. So I hear my fucking baby crying in the background. This is what you get, Will, for fucking telling us to come in at fucking 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You're gonna hear fucking people waking up from naps and shit. We usually tape and we usually record at like 8:30 at night when like everyone's fucking dead asleep. All it is he and I getting drunk, getting high, and not a fucking person in our circle that we have to deal with. But
we're gonna have to improvise.
Yeah, we're gonna improvise. I can fucking hear her crying. Point is that I annoyed the fucking shit out of them, and then I think on one episode last week, KMS Kirk's like, well, I mean, just put them up. And I'm like, I fucking lit up, man. I'm like, I got adrenaline pumping through my body, you know, because I'm listening to KMS every single morning on my way to work, and whether I'm on, you know, my jogs or whatever in the morning, I'm always listening to them on the way in, always listening to them throughout the day if they do a late post. And I heard that, and I'm like, holy fucking shit! I can't believe he just gave us the fucking green light. So, you know, we've been trying to coordinate with those guys for a couple of days. Again, I hooked up with Will on Thursday. We did kind of a trial run with some of the equipment. We spoke. We had a really great conversation, actually, and Will can attest to this. We had a great conversation. We recorded it. We decided not to post it because, you know, it was just sort of us shooting the shit. But and here we are. So here we fucking are.
And I just want to tell you, I obviously had a pretty wild week with everything going on work-wise and stuff like that. We don't need to get into those details too much, but I appreciate you.
Yeah.
You did a great job of keeping things together, got us some equipment, sorted some things out, making things happen.
Not
I
a problem.
appreciate you. You allow me to come over here and just fuck around and get drunk and high and fuck around with you. So I appreciate you.
Every single time that Scott comes over, it's like I laid it all out for him. All he has to do is walk up to the
We just chill out and have a good time.
He's at home working his ass off.
But I do need to recognize the fact that when I do come over here, I've basically contributed nothing pre-wise except for a couple of things I feel like I might want to talk about and shoot the shit about. So
go ahead. Why don't you start shooting the shit about those things? Because those are probably one of the most important things.
The only other thing
I'm empty. I'm gonna go fill a beer. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
The only other thing I wanted to talk about. Look at you just leaving me behind like you do that, you son of a bitch. No, the only other thing I wanted to say is just that I really very much appreciate the sense of community and the sense of entertainment, or the idea of entertainment that we get out of here. And for me, it's it's just adding that bit of a little bit of education around alternative medicine, or an idea around, you know, how marijuana or medical marijuana might help some folks. Then we keep it all together with some good banter and some good entertainment as well. So for me, it's just a kind of a combination of those three things, and then kind of trying to balance that out. And if we can fuck with the Minihane show and have a good time in the middle of all that, and you can do your thing, I think we're having a good time.
Yeah, if you guys, you know, I'm not here to promote anything, but again, we're just having a blast doing this. But we did produce 4 other episodes on our YouTube channel, and I think it might be helpful for some people who are interested in knowing more about us to start to listen to some of those.
It's all over the place, and that's the funny thing. We've actually had a bunch of conversations around like what is that identity when we were challenged or called a weed podcast, which we're not necessarily. And we've had some good conversation around just what the hell are we? I don't know what the hell we are, but I think we're just kind of having a good time doing it.
I think it's similar to sort of the KMS show. This is all fucking organic. Like, again, we've got a great relationship. We banter, we politic all the time. Like, we should fucking get it down. I think we're just going to continue to sort of keep going and seeing where this goes with us. We definitely have a lot of ideas that we want to share, but all around the sort of the mental health piece and some alternative treatments. We both are experts in our field. So I just want to make that clear. We're not just fucking 2 dudes who like to get stoned and just talk about topics that we have no idea what we're talking about. Like, you know, I've been in the health and wellness or in the medical field for 20 plus years, and I know, you know, you could speak for yourself, but I know you've had your own experience in your education.
Oh, I'm going to talk about a lot of shit that's complete nonsense too, but we'll get into, you know, we're going to do a little bit of everything. But yeah, no, I won't let yeah, that's a grab it. Yeah.
The reason why I had to fucking get up and pour my own beer because this motherfucker got up right before the podcast.
Just a little bit of a mistake there.
Poured one for himself and
just
left
poured
me
the
fucking
whole
hanging.
thing out.
left
Reflex
me
action.
fucking hanging.
To be fair, we had a few things going. We were playing with equipment, getting high, trying to figure this out.
Right.
And I accidentally
went
a little too far there, but all good.
So, all right, let's bring this back down. So there's the backstory. Now you know why we're here. Today was a good day. I just want to say that it's been a series of really bad days.
It hasn't been great.
I think everyone got to test. It's been a fucking. I mean, I don't know what everyone else is dealing with. It just seems from what everyone else has been sharing on this channel, on the YouTube channel, and also with I know Steve's really upset about all this shit. Mike's all upset, but like this whole fucking thing about this virus is really a headache. For a lot of people.
Yeah. And then you throw in like just in Boston, like no St. You know, just the ripple effect. No St. Patty's. It's fucking pouring on Tuesday. Tom Brady announces that morning he's out of here. Like, shit was ugly around
which was
here.
Not.
I'm a New York kid. I could care less, but it just, you know, shit was ugly.
I'm a Philly kid.
It was ugly
I do
around
care,
here.
I don't care. Yeah, but today was a good day. The reason why today was a good day is because, you know, this is I guess what's you know, they're starting to put out in the news, because the news has been fucking horrific. Like they just want to fucking shit on Trump. They just want to make sure that everyone knows that we're doing a bad job.
The news is loving life right now. Everybody is tuned in and freaking out. So they just have everybody's attention. It's the best thing in the world. For the media.
For them. I mean, it's like a fucking train wreck, but
they just do whatever the fuck
there's like, there's another bloody dead body under a fucking white tarp. Let's show that for another fucking 5 hours and talk about how bloody and dead and white that tarp is. That's covered. Like that's like the fucking the way the world is right now. So it's hard not to get caught up on that, because every fucking channel you're connected to, it's just fucking bad news. But the reason why today was a good day was because I saw my kids.
Yes.
And
when you rolled up, the sun was shining. You rolled up with the windows down.
It's like,
it was good for a minute there.
Talk about life being fucking flipped upside down. So, you know, I have 3 kids. 2 of them live with their mom in the next town over. So they're not even fucking like, it's not like I have to drive anywhere to get them. It's literally like I just crossed the fucking line in my town to the next town to see them. They split their time with me. So they're here 3-4 days a week, but then fucking for the last 2 weeks, ever since this whole fucking, and I have a newborn baby here. So, you know, my wife is like, we have to be, you know, extremely careful. And this was like before the whole quarantine thing happened. I'm like, I know this is a serious fucking thing. It's obviously getting worse. And then unfortunately, someone in their household got sick, not with the coronavirus, but just sick,
which can happen, especially this time of year.
Exactly. I mean, this can happen anytime, any day for anybody. But this was before any tests were available. And I'm like, and so there was just a lot of dialogue, and, you know, I've got kids who are in the elementary school level. So to explain to, and and they love their new sibling. I mean, like, it's just so we had to make that tough decision to say, all right, we don't know if that person in your household has something that's more intense than just a
How do
fucking
you
cold.
even explain this stuff?
Yeah, there's no tests, and we're trying to do the best that we can to protect them because it's scary as shit. I mean, they're out of school, they don't get it, they don't understand why they're out of school. I mean, they just had February vacation, which they heavily enjoyed. They were in the fucking Bahamas getting tans and getting their hairs braided, and then they come back for 1 week, and then all of a sudden the whole fucking school shut down. They don't understand that. They're not in any way, shape, or form can an 8 or 10-year-old process whatever is going on right now.
I feel similarly, by the way. I was in the sun with you a little while ago having my hair braided, and then I came back and everything went to shit.
It looks great, by the way.
It's getting long too, because there's no goddamn barber in town to take. I got nothing going on.
All the barbers are shutting down. That's why I cut my own hair. I'm
getting there. I'm just gonna go one.
Although what I
keep it simple.
You should.
Yeah.
I mean, I think actually that's it. Kirk is the same way. He goes to a barber, and I'm looking at him. You guys have a very similar thing going on. I'm like, just fucking do it yourself.
I got a barber. He's
not
a
a
good
lot of
guy. There's two. I got a backup. They're both in the chairs next to each other, but they're
See, that's what it is. You guys love the experience.
I got a little routine. I hang out. I shoot the shit with them every
exactly
2-3 weeks.
Right.
I go in there. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to do that, and then I was paying like $40 a visit. I'm like, what am I doing? I spent $40 for one razor, and now it's been lasting me for like 2 years. So, but I do understand. I can appreciate the experience. I know it's like kind of a place just to like shoot the shit and hang out. But I think getting back to what I was saying. So today was a good day. So mixed family. We made the tough decision for the kids not to come over.
Yeah.
We decided today was a good day for just a visit because it's been nice for the last 2 days. We can just hang out outside.
You got some good socially distanced playing.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm say it's still there's still a level of anxiety because there's this whole fucking unknown window of time that a person could be carrying something and have no symptoms. And so obviously we've got a couple-month-old baby. We don't want the kids to like hang all over her and kiss her and hug her, which is what they want to do. So the rules that we set out before we set up this sort of play date, which is sort of sick in the head because they sleep here. They have their own bedrooms here. I mean, like the fact that like it's been empty every single night that I usually, to not be able to put my kids to bed. Like I swear to God, like I'm not saying this just for any fucking like to feel sorry for me, but like literally, like I go to bed crying.
Yeah, that's not fun.
I mean, like 3 nights a week when they're usually in their own beds and I'm putting them to bed, reading them stories, fucking singing them songs, and like this week and a half, and I haven't seen that. Like that's like 6 days that I don't have them.
That's not cool.
And I'm like, fuck. And like my daughter and my wife are probably already in bed by the time I get to bed. It's like 10:30, and usually I'm still seeing my kids' rooms lights on. And they're reading or doing something, and I'm hanging out with them before they all go to sleep, and like there's nothing. It's just like dead air. It's like dead space. Kind of like how if you go out in the fucking neighborhood today or anywhere else, you go to Main Street in any fucking neighborhood, it's done. It's
quiet.
Dead, man. Every store's fucking closed.
Yeah.
It's like fucking New Year's Day, like that feeling when like, New Year's Eve is like bustling and like all excited and like everyone's out and drinking and celebrating, popping corks and like fucking giving high fives and making out. And then like the next morning, it's like dead.
That's the only time other than that. But yeah, this is it
it's like
now.
Dead.
Yeah. I saw some pictures like of stuff, down Times Square, down Fifth Avenue, just empty in
fucking
New York,
tumbleweeds
everywhere. Yeah. It's we gotta space out, hunker down.
Yeah. So the kids came over today, kept their fucking distance. They listened. They didn't touch their sister, but they pushed the carriage. We went around the block a couple times. Good. We hung out for a few hours.
There's a couple other kids riding around, having a good time.
A good time. So that was it. It's a good fucking
touching.
feeling.
Just no touching.
No, I mean, it's so fucking weird.
It's so hard.
Don't throw a baseball. Like they're like someone picks up a football because they want to start throwing a football with each other. I'm like, no.
Mine was trading chalk with a friend. They were just doing a little chalk art, but they were trading the chalk back and forth immediately. Myself, my wife, the mom, just. What are you gonna do? You gotta
fucking weird times, man.
Yeah.
And then I went into Dunkin'. Times. This was another experience this morning. So when I'm going to pick up the kids, I walk into Dunkin's, and they shut down the restaurant business, and all you can do is walk in, get a coffee, and come out.
Yeah.
But I walk in, and there's like a fucking dude who I don't know. I mean, this is a small town, so I typically can recognize who's from this town and who isn't.
You got your guy. Yeah.
This guy wasn't someone that I recognized, and I'm like, fuck, who's this guy? So, and then a patron walked by me. He's at the register, and this is the fucking weird feeling you have right now. So the guy's like literally 4 feet away from me. Normally, I'm fucking walking right behind him. A guy walks in to get his coffee, and I'm usually side by side next to him or right behind him, waiting for my fucking turn to order my coffee. And I let him go by, and he's like, I keep my distance. So now this is the feeling. So I stand in line like halfway in, and then the guy shows up and he's like, all right, you're next. And I'm like, this is the fucking, and then the guy walks in behind me, same thing. I walk up to the counter and the dude's walking by and he's like standing like by the door. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this has got to fucking end soon.
I'm outraged. My Starbucks is now closed, completely closed.
The one in town.
More, yeah, the one.
Oh,
in
not
town.
even takeout.
Not even anything anymore.
Damn.
It got slowly, progressively
You're
worse.
fucking
Like first
yuppie
it was
Starbucks.
empty. I'm pissed. It started with like there was a
Your
couple of tables
your
removed.
grande cafe latte, double
half,
scoop.
my grande half calf is spoiled. It's ruined. I don't get it anymore. No, they
What
went
are you
through
gonna do
the
what are you gonna do with all
steps.
that? What do you do like that $100 a week that you're spending on
I'm
coffee?
gonna have to I don't know, have to do something at
You
home.
could probably
or
split some of
something.
this equipment with me.
You know what I think I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
I told you I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, you supply.
What I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to drive like 2 exits down the goddamn highway to pick up Starbucks to some other gangster Starbucks that doesn't give a shit about cleanliness. I guess I don't know. It's the only thing I can do.
I don't think there's any Starbucks right now that doesn't give a shit about clients. Actually,
I found a few that don't give a shit.
oh really? They're just like, come
Not
on,
in our town,
man.
our
Come
nice little
Let me
bougie
guess,
town.
is it
We're
Central
fine.
Square in Cambridge,
Yeah, our
where they
bougie
just-
town is like we're gonna close down. We
right.
get it. We're gonna and they slowly kind of went through the steps. First they removed the chairs, then they removed the tables, then it was only takeout. Then they had like a fucking table blocking the door, and you could just get like coffee at the door. Now it's done. Locked doors. 2 towns south, gangsters. Go find them. Get yourself some Corona.
So they're like, hey guys, hold hands.
Yeah, get yourself some Corona.
He reaches
and some
out his hand like
caffeine.
he wants to shake your hand, and that's whole like, dude, you want to fucking shake hands?
I just walked in, open
Whoa,
restaurant,
it's a gangster.
tables still there.
There's
They're
still
just hanging
tables
out.
inside?
3 of them just hanging out,
Oh
having a
my
good
God.
time. Loves
There's a lot of Corona
I don't
living
mean
in
to
it.
shame Starbucks. I love you. Don't take this the wrong way. Starbucks.
There's a lot of Corona in that place, though. You
Thank
probably
you.
have Corona. Fuck, we now have. I have shit.
I gave you Corona. Sorry.
That's all right, man. I feel fine.
I think we're gonna be fine. We
So-
shouldn't be joking about that.
so-
though. We have to be serious about that.
Yeah,
shit.
I'm going to be serious, and not. So leading up today leading up to today was a good day. Leading
Yeah.
up, no, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Leading up to today was a bad day. Today was a good day.
Today was a great day.
So earlier in the week, let's talk about what happened earlier in the week. So early in the week, and we're all getting to a point here, though, and the point will eventually be made. But it's about how much.
I spend a lot of time waiting for Eric's points. It's okay. You guys will feel my pain.
I'm going to make this point now, and then we'll come back to explaining a little bit more. But we're so hyper focused on this virus that I think what's happening is that we're minimizing the impact this is having on people who are vulnerable mentally. There's a lot of people right now mentally who are vulnerable. People who live with a lot of high anxiety and a lot of stress, and as this is causing more stress and disruption to the majority of our lives, for those people who are living with some of those conditions, this is putting them in a very tough place.
Yeah.
I know people who I personally know with, and people that I've worked with before professionally in the past, who right now don't have access to the same treatments that they had before. So, for example, like their psychiatrists have shut down their practice. They're not seeing patients anymore. They're doing this like telemedicine
Gotta limit
thing.
contact. Gotta limit
Yeah.
that contact. Yeah.
But for
You
those,
and I have both made serious adjustments to our mental and physical wellness
Totally.
routines and workouts as well.
Yeah,
I'd
I
love
mean,
to
I
talk
fucking-
about that. I know you're going to make a point here in a minute, but I want to talk about that too.
yeah, but I think the point that I'm trying to make is that I think there's been a lack of focus. I mean, I would love to see some of that out there, because I mean, in the mainstream media, I would love to see them talk about some of the mental health stress and strain that's going on, especially with people who are living with some conditions, because like I said, it's the access to some of the treatments that they don't normally have. Sometimes it's even the medications, because some of these people live with a lot of paranoia. And right now, to even go pick up a script, so God forbid if they were like if they were low on medications and they haven't signed up for some sort of auto script where it gets delivered to their homes, and they're typically used to going to like CVS to pick it up. A lot of these people are fucking highly paranoid, and they're like, I'm not gonna fucking go to CVS and get coronavirus and die to pick up my script. So a lot of these people are missing not only their appointments for talk therapy or for psychiatrists because they've shut down their practice, but they're not even going to pick up their medications. So, which also is fucking extremely disruptive to a person who's trying to, maintain some level of stability or normalcy in their life. So, just a lot of things going on. Yeah, you're right. You and I have made some significant sacrifices. And I think, you and I are relatively healthy individuals. Like we've maintained and managed our mental health stuff long enough that we know how to modify things when things like this. I mean, this is a pretty major crisis going on, but even in a crisis like this, I think you and I have been doing this long enough that we've figured out what makes sense and what we need to take care of ourselves.
See, I like this conversation because this is good for me, and I think this is good for everybody because this helps me with the fucking spectrum of things and helps me put things in perspective again, right? Like you start talking about that shit, and I'm like, okay, right. People are fucked up, and people have issues, and they need help. And then you've got your Facebook moms that are upset about their kid doesn't have the right learning program in the suburbs out here or something like that, and they're pissed that school can't pivot fast enough. I'm like, oh, that's a problem. And then you and I here, we're talking about, well, you're fucking pumping weights in your driveway outside in front of everybody, and I'm working out in my fucking rocky basement with with tumbleweeds and dust in the basement. And it helps me put things in perspective about kind of where we're at with things. Like we all should be bitching a little bit, but don't go bitching too much. And,
I mean,
make sure you're aware where you're at with things,
Yeah, I mean, again, perspective matters a lot. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to this broadcast right now, and they're thinking, I'm on the side of Scott and Eric. Like I'm managing it relatively well. Like I'm not in a place where like I'm potentially going to go into some sort of like downward spiral. And then there might be people listening to us who are on the opposite side. There's some people who have some significant challenges they're dealing with, and the additional stress of being isolated, being stuck in your home, not having access to your therapist, not having access to your psychiatrist, not having access to your medications because you're afraid to go to the pharmacy. I mean, those people, I mean, I'm sure at some point there's some public health agency or some nonprofit that is monitoring or measuring the impact that this is having on that population. And unfortunately right now, because we're just trying to keep people well and alive with this whole like virus thing, that's just not a part of the news cycle.
Yeah,
and
everybody's worried about the big, most important, like the big elephant in the room. And then all these other little things kind of fall by the wayside right now because we're all in like emergency mode.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I think also a lot of the services in a lot of these major hospitals are being allocated, and money and resources are being allocated to treat this virus. And so when you think about, they're implementing, I think some laws where, doctors are either have recently retired or doctors who have licenses out of state can practice in Massachusetts right now because they're anticipating I don't know how to you're in this kind of field when I say like understaffed, like they're anticipating that
like a future shortage,
exactly, like a shortage. So they're giving like the green light to these people to practice medicine even though they're not licensed or recently have retired to practice medicine.
Okay. That's a good one. Wow.
Yeah, so I think what I'm trying to say is that like but we're allocating all of these resources to help mitigate this virus. But again, losing focus on some of these other health crises and the physical health stuff, like I always say, it's so like, oh, we can't lose our cardiologist. Oh, we can't lose our urologist. I mean, these are like these physical health conditions. No one's going to take those people away. If people need emergency surgery to fix a heart valve or a blocked artery or cancer surgeries, I mean, like these things are not going to be put on hold. But when it comes to the mental health stuff, the strain and the stress, like the nurses that are probably treating maybe either in an ER situation or in an inpatient situation, a lot of these nurses who are trained to deal with the psychiatric stuff are sometimes being relocated or reallocated to certain sections of this world of healthcare to focus primarily on this disease or in those virus. And again, it's just sort of stripping away all of the things that this population needs. And I always love, like, I mean, I've been an advocate. I've been actively participating in the sort of mental health or public health realm for the majority of my professional life. And I'm very well in tuned. I follow a lot of groups I'm connected to. I get emails from all of these services all the time. And right now I can say this, they're fucking blasting out emails and communications like I've never seen before. And it's funny. I'll bring up the one NAMI. NAMI is the National Alliance for the Mentally Ill, and it's an amazing institution that have raised money for in the past. There's this thing called the NAMI Walk that happens every year. I've participated in that. I've raised thousands of dollars for this organization. Okay. But recently, when Kirk was going through these tough troubles, they decided to design some T-shirts, and they were going to allocate a lot of the funds, or I think 100% of the funds from this T-shirt to go toward an organization. NAMI was the initial organization that they chose to give the money to, and they just denied it. And I'm not sure why. I think there was some reason, maybe having to do with they didn't want to connect to the show, or maybe they heard the word Barstool or something and they connected that to some sort of like negative feeling. But right now, NAMI is sending out blast of emails encouraging people like me in the mental health, or people like me who are or used to be in the mental health field, or who are advocates, or who are patients or consumers of mental health services, to write to our senators and to write to our public health professionals, and to basically advocate for mental health right now, because they're really just shifting the focus and taking away a lot of the things that used to promote that side of the health spectrum and putting it more toward this virus. So it sucks that NAMI is doing that, even though it is an organization that I can say I still stand behind. I think it's a fucking idiotic thing to turn away money. But that's the crazy thing. So right now, I think everyone who is experiencing some of this stress and stuff, it's fucking piling on like bricks. So
yeah, not to trivialize any of that. That's well said and well stated and well said, and good awareness there, my friend. Have you just noticed how many people are talking about just getting fucking hammered on like social media, and how many people are just like locked in and taking pictures of martinis and drinks and fucking around, like
this whole like happy hour thing?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, when you're doing this and you're like you're saying, that's where I get a lot of that's where the relatable piece for me is. It's like trying to keep to a good routine and work out and stay healthy, but everybody's getting fucked up, it seems like.
I mean, I think everyone definitely is dealing with this differently. So earlier in the week, there was all of these messages, because I'm from Philadelphia, so I'm still connected. Even though I've been living in Boston for 20 plus years, Philadelphia is still my home. The majority of my life is still connected or living in that city. So anytime that like something happens in that city, whether it's sports related or news related, I'm somehow all connected to it because I get it on my feeds. And people were posting this fucking news conference of the commissioner, the police commissioner, who I guess there was some rumors swirling in Philadelphia that they were going to start to release prisoners who are, I don't know, not violent criminals, but people.
Yeah, you sent me this link.
And so they were going to release some prisoners because they were afraid of this coronavirus infecting the prison system, and also in addition to that, they were gonna basically minimize, or I don't say minimize, but they were gonna be a little bit more laxed about who they're arresting and
non-violent crime or certain crimes and different recategories, which is also has been going on in New York, by the way, as well. My friends from New York, shout out. I guess you could call it upstate New York, but it ain't upstate New York, Orange County. They're irate over sort of the classification of laws and kind of how we're going and how we're allocating resources to violent and non-violent crime.
Yeah. So unless you're fucking murdering people,
you're not going to jail.
You're not going to jail. Yeah. So think about every other person who's like, Grand Theft Auto, breaking into homes, fucking, larceny, fucking knocking on people's doors, pretending they're someone that they're not, and then going into their home, stealing shit, like all these fucking scams out there. Cause there's millions of them going on right now about this fucking coronavirus, taking advantage of like really, just vulnerable people. No, they're just going to like,
people are selling hand sanitizer for $150 a gallon or whatever. Right. I mean, it's everywhere, everything.
But I have to say, I think those people are getting slapped on the hand more. Those people who are price gouging than the people who are actually causing crimes. They're
certainly getting shamed worse. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the world we live in now.
So the point is, like, my wife and I are now put in the basement. That's our home office.
Yeah.
I built her a desk last weekend. So we're both back to back doing our fucking thing, and then all of these news stories start circling around about like releasing prisoners, not arresting people. And she like taps me on the shoulder and she's like, we need to buy a gun. And I'm not licensed to carry, even though you and I have had this discussion before. We both are huge Amendment 2, Second Amendment advocates. We both want to go through the course, take the course, get our licenses, buy some guns, be able to protect our homes. But neither one of us, I guess, because of our busy lives, have ever gone through those steps to do it, even though we talk about it all the time. So my wife looks at me and she's like, I want a gun and I want a gun now. And so I'm like, I don't have a license to carry. I can't just buy a gun. She's like, figure it out.
Especially in the state we live in.
She's like, figure it the fuck out. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna motherfucking figure this out. So I have one friend who is fucking.
This guy looks like a badass.
I mean, I'm gonna post a picture of him. I hope he doesn't get pissed off at me that I'll do that. But
we may want to talk to him about that real
well,
quick.
I'll just cut out everything that you can identify him as. Actually, you know what? If you saw him walking down the street, like that motherfucker can kill someone in a heartbeat. I mean, this guy is the toughest motherfucker I've ever met in my life, and this is not fake shit. Like he could literally be like a bounty hunter. He's that intense. He's got
quick timeout though. How did we do with Larry and everything with him? Is he's cool with everything?
He's worse. He's worse off.
We had to. I was wondering the follow up.
Yeah, from my brother. So my brother Larry, who is a Hollywood producer, we had
talked a bit about him last week.
Yeah, we had him on episode 4. It's a really interesting conversation. So I do encourage you guys to click around and listen to that. He's a highly anxious dude, but once California shut down,
which was like a day later,
yeah, he's in a worse place. Like worse place. Like he doesn't, and unlike
did he buy enough toilet paper? Did he buy enough TP?
No, I think he's in LA, so I don't think they do toilet paper there. I think they do like golden sheets,
like bidets or something. They have bidets.
Yeah, bidets, exactly.
Okay, bidets. Yeah.
A lot of bidets out there.
It's only bidets.
No, they only do like the wipes. Like, you know, like they use wipes, so they clog up their fucking like sump pump.
That in
like
the ocean. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, or their septic systems are all blocked up because they don't use toilet papers. I guess I don't know what they do. But
yeah, cleaned out.
LA's fucking weird.
I had to have a shitter cleaned out in Maine.
They wipe their asses
due to baby wipes.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're not supposed to put those things down the fucking toilet.
Well,
man.
we learned the lesson the hard way. They say flushable.
Wait,
and they
is that this house?
No, in Maine. Not this house.
Okay.
Not this house at all.
Okay. So the funny fucking story is that this motherfucker owned this house.
I did.
And then we bought this house from them. Then they bought the house next door. And that's how this fucking whole thing happened.
Yeah.
I actually hate this. I hate this guy. I used to egg his house and light fires in his backyard.
Yep.
Just because I was waiting. I wanted them to fucking move.
Throw bags of shit over the fence.
Bags of shit. What was that? That was Can't Buy Me Love, where they put the shit in the bag and they light it on fire. No, they just shit the house. They shit the house. You shat my house.
Can't say
you don't know that.
No,
you never saw Can't Buy Me Love.
Can't say
it's such a fucking classic with Patrick Dempsey.
No, not.
Oh my god,
that's a tough one. Not here,
Kirk. You heard this right here.
Sorry.
This fucking guy has never. This guy, what how old you? What year were you?
39.
Born? Damn, that makes no sense.
Can't Buy Me Love. Really?
I'll play this for you. The bottom line is that
that's like what, a late 90s rom-com or early 2000s bullshit rom-com?
It's probably like 1984. Patrick Dempsey is probably like 19 years old. The dude he's a nerd, and he pays $1,000. So he's a nerd who loves like the stars, and he's in the mall buying a telescope. So he's a lawnmower. So he
sounds like a real cool guy.
He's a dork. He's a nerd. But I listen, I related to him when I was a kid because I was a fucking nerd myself. And the bottom line is that he was like cutting lawns, and he saved all of his money. He saved like $1,000, and he's in the mall to buy a telescope that he's been saving up for however many lawns he's fucking cut. And across the mall is the hottest chick, the most popular chick in the whole fucking school. What was the fucking her name? Cindy? I think her name was Cindy.
Cindy.
I think it was Cindy. So he looks across the mall and he sees fucking Cindy. She's just like, hot blonde chick, whatever. And I forget the conversation, but he goes up to her and he basically takes this money, this $1,000 that he was going to buy this telescope with, and he was going to give her the $1,000, and he's just like, just make me popular. That was the whole plot of the movie, was that he gave this girl all the money that he saved that he was going to buy a telescope with, $1,000. So she faked. So this was like over the summer. I think his name was Ronald. So Ronald.
This sounds like it sucks.
No, it's an amazing 80s film. I love it. I would watch it. It's like one of those films that if it's on TV, I'm watching it. The point is, how did we get on this fucking topic?
I've got no idea. Why you're on this dumbass talking about this dumbass show right now?
Fuck, man. I should. This is what I gotta fucking. This is what happens to me. I fucking pad of paper and a pen, and the last 4 times I always forget my fucking train of thought. And I'm like, fuck. Oh no.
We were talking about guns at one point.
Yes, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to that.
That was back when you were cool, when you were talking about guns.
Oh, yeah. It's not cool when I'm talking about Can't Buy Me Love. Can't buy me. He gets her in the end, though, just so you know. I'm gonna spoil the fucking movie.
Guy gets the girl. No shit.
I'm gonna spoil the fucking movie for you. In the end,
the guy got the girl.
In the end, he gets the fucking. He gets the hot chick.
That's unreal.
Yeah,
I never would have thought. Okay.
All right. So my wife looks at me.
I'm glad we got that all laid out.
My wife looks at me, and she's like, "We need to buy a motherfucking gun." And I'm like, "Don't have a license to carry." She's like, "Figure it out." I'll call my buddy, who literally has an arsenal in his house. He's a serious.
This guy does look like a badass.
He's a serious professional. I won't give too much away, but he definitely knows what he's fucking talking about. He's the only person in my life that I'll consult with when it comes to owning a firearm, and also figuring out what steps I need to take to get licensed. So we're already on track for that, and you're coming with me. I already told him the next time that when this whole fucking thing shuts down, you and I are going to go to the range with him first just to practice.
Yeah, we got to take the class too. We got to start with.
Well, we're going to do both. We're going to do it simultaneously. So I don't know. They might open up because all the ranges, all the indoor ranges are closed. We can't even get into them. So the outdoor ranges I think are still open, but I'm not sure.
I will be paused for the near current future. I will be paused at taking the class because my wife freaked the fuck out when I told her I dropped that. A gun. Yeah.
Did you
so.
tell you?
No, I had said it prior, so it didn't matter. But,
all right. So
we're easing her into it. It's fine. We'll work on that. But she's not happy one bit.
So the point is that so my wife's like, all right, get a fucking gun. And so I talked to my boy, and I'm like, listen, I don't have a license to carry. He's like, you don't. I'm like, so I can't buy a gun legally. He's like, no, you can't. I'm like,
there's no harm in taking a gun safety class.
No, let's just shut up. Let me fucking finish what I'm trying to say.
Which is the beginning of this process.
Listen, let me fucking finish.
As usual, you're always jumping in way too fucking far ahead of everything.
I'm not jumping far. I'm trying to finish the fucking story. Let me finish this fucking story.
All right, here we go.
He's like, you don't have a gun. I mean, no. Shit. See, this exactly. This is the point.
The problem is that he indulged in the goddamn fantasy of you shooting an AR-57 in the back of the
So the point is, he's like, and I'm like, all right. So, and I'm like, well, can you get me a gun? And he's like, no, that's illegal. I'm like, all right. So I said to him, I'm like, all right, what is the best thing that I can do to protect myself? What's the weapon I need to buy? What is something that I can have in the home to feel somewhat confident that if, God forbid, we get to that situation where there's just some fucking asshole outside trying to break into our cars, or even worse, trying to break into our homes, what can I do to just sort of deter that and stop that in action? Because, listen, I'm not afraid to fucking jump on a dude, but if I don't have to jump on a dude, I'd rather have some, like, space. Because, God forbid, if he's carrying, if he's got a knife, like, I'd rather just fucking fire something from, like, 20, 30 feet away to at least prevent the sort of hand-to-hand combat, because I'm willing to fucking die for my kids. I'm willing to die to protect anyone in this fucking house. I'm kind of willing to die for you, but I'm not quite there yet.
Our property's touched, so theoretically you should have to.
Well, the cool thing is that we touch, but we also have a corner of the neighborhood. So you and I,
we have the whole piece.
Yeah. So when the shit goes down,
you have to die for me if
no. I'm not going to die for you quite yet. I'm not quite there. But what I'm trying to say is that if the fucking apocalypse comes and people are fucking breaking into people's homes,
lock down our corner, bub.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, you'll get a gun, I got a gun, and we got every angle covered.
Are we going to unpack at one point at some episode? It doesn't have to be now, and it doesn't have to be the next podcast, but at some point we should unpack why we went from Corona apocalypse to immediately you having a gun and us locking down a block before you ever went through any of the necessary steps to have that.
It doesn't matter. The point that you're making, it was a bad week up until a good week.
That's true.
And I started with the good week. I started with the good thing. Now, let me just finish my story. See, you fucking interrupt me but I know this thought because I'm going to get it out. So the point is that
if there's anybody that's going to get to a point,
right? Hold on,
this guy right here.
Talking to my boy, can't get a gun, don't have a license. Licenses places are shut down, so can't get a license.
Right.
It's illegal to get a gun. He's not gonna connect me with anyone. He would. I bet if I pushed him, he would.
No short-term solution.
No. So I'm like, what the fuck can I use right now to what can I have in my house to protect me? And he sends me the link.
This did make me laugh.
did.
This made me fucking in the middle of the chaos that I was dealing with. This fucking idiot starts taking selfies with a goddamn BB gun.
This is don't, dude. It's not. Let's. Can you stop emasculating me and calling it a fucking BB gun?
You might as well.
No, seriously. You just took my fucking like. You just took my fucking 12-inch boner. I literally was just about to whip out.
It's a badass.
I'm literally about to whip out my dick and show you my fucking boner, but you just took it and just chopped it off.
You are the 2020 Red Rider.
I'm not gonna shoot my eye out.
This thing's badass.
But so he's like, all right. He sends me a link to this fucking website. I'm like, okay, what the fuck am I looking at? It's a hunting website, and it's high-powered air rifles, and I'm like, an air rifle? Like, are you sure? Like, can I just get like a fucking fake gun and just walk down the street? He's like, no. He's like, and he's a trained professional. And he has a like he I don't know if he's I mean, he's got a lot of certifications, and he's passed a ton of courses on I don't know, whatever the fuck he's taking courses in. But at some point he was a trainer. He used to train people and certify people to carry. And he's just saying, like, don't waste your fucking money on something that you're just going to show some dude and it's just going to, like, you know, trim the beard on their face. Like, you want to get something that's going to fucking cause bodily harm, or if you're trying to do something that's going to scare someone, you want something that looks scary enough that they're going to think that they're going to die. I'm like, all right, I get your point. So
this thing looks scary.
This is the first time you've seen this, right?
Well, I mean, I've seen the video. I've seen your video of you fucking around with it in the basement. It has a ridiculous scope on it too.
Look at this fucking thing. So this is a high-powered air rifle, which can cause fucking harm. I mean, it's a hunting rifle, so people are talking about. I've watched like at least a dozen videos online about this now. And people are killing. I mean, I'm going to say they're killing. I mean, people buy this for like squirrels and rabbits, for small hunt. But people have talked about like killing like, I don't know, like possums and shit. So like it has power, and so now I've got a fucking gun in the house that, like, when I got this, I didn't load it, but I fired it in my basement. And the basement that I just built the home office for, and I'm in. So the basement split up into, as you know, obviously, because this was your fucking house at one point. Mm-hmm. There's the garage, and then there's through the door is the basement office. And I closed the door to the office, and I just fired the thing, and it's not loud, but it's powerful. It's a pop.
You got a little kick.
Yeah, and I opened the door, and my wife's eyes are like fucking wide open. She's like, did you just shoot a bullet in the like? It was so fucking loud.
Well, it was a BB, to be fair, but is it a pellet or BB? What do you got?
It's a pellet, man.
It's pellets.
I'm not gonna talk.
It's a pellet gun.
And I bought the pellets that hunters use to cause the most bodily harm. So I also bought a target. So we're gonna so Scott and I are gonna shoot this.
Big yard over here. We can do it.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking shoot this around. We're gonna play around with this. But this is what I fucking bought. So
I just want to recap what we've gone live and put everything on video, and we've pulled out guns, shamed corona victims, bashed the healthcare system, fucked with Minifans, and smoked weed and drank on TV. Got it. Okay.
That's not weed, by the way, is it?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
That wasn't a real.
It's just cotton candy.
That wasn't a real gun either.
No, it's not a real gun.
It's a pellet gun. Prop.
It's a high-powered rifle, you motherfucker. How about if I shoot you in the face with it?
I don't want anything to do with that thing. That thing looks serious.
How about I do this? I'll buy a BB gun, and I'll shoot you in the face.
Like 12-year-olds, we can just go run around like out by the creek and.
No. You're making fun of the fact that I bought a BB gun. I'm gonna shoot you in the face with a BB gun, and then I'm gonna shoot you in the face with my fucking rifle.
And then we'll see the difference.
Yes, and I'll do one cheek and one cheek.
It would have been like funnier if you had said you were going to shoot me in the ass with it. That would have been way better.
I'm not going there, man. That's
where we're at.
Well, that's where we went. I mean, that's. I think the point that's the point that I was trying to make. So, the week started off really bad. I got better toward the end, but
And then right before things were at their worst, this awesome little piece of sound equipment showed up. Your BB gun showed up, and everything got better.
the fucking everything just came together. So now the house is protected. The corners of our property, because I've got a scope, so I can sit on my fucking roof and I can just aim and shoot squirrels. So any motherfucking squirrel or any fucking
I
rabbit,
gave you permission to fire at will.
any fucking squirrel or any fucking rabbit that wants to touch my property right now, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you for practice. No one's gonna say a fucking word. No one in the neighborhood's gonna care. There might be like 10 squirrels or rabbits on all across our lawn, and people might be like, "Guys, what the fuck's happening? Why are all these fucking dead animals?"
Dead marmots?
And
What are all these dead marmots doing
I
laying
don't-
around on the lawn?
I don't know, man. I'm like, maybe there's. I'll be. Maybe it's fucking Corona.
It might be the corona.
Maybe fucking Corona
the,
is killing the squirrels. Maybe Corona's killing the fucking rabbits. But in truth, I'm gonna be on my fucking roof, target practicing
Scoped
these
out.
fucking screws.
Scoping motherfuckers.
And then there's gonna be that one day in 2 weeks from now where that fucking asshole is gonna be trying to break into your, because I can see your car from my property and I can see my cars obviously, and I'm gonna fucking shoot that motherfucker right in the skull, and it might bounce off, and he might be like, "Dude, what the fuck? There's a mosquito that just bit me," or he might be like, "I gotta get the fuck out of here." Some guy is fucking shooting me with a fucking gun. You're looking at me like because I said that word.
I mean, you went gangster on me for a minute there. I don't know what happened.
It's Philly, man. Philly fucking puts that shit in you. I'm telling you.
Do you want to talk some? You want to talk some weed statistics and some
Yeah,
weed
why
news
don't-
real quick? I
I-
got a couple of weed facts.
Go
for
ahead,
you.
man. You go. You do your
I
thing.
got some interesting.
I'll stop
good
stop
ones for
talking about shooting people.
Well, I mean, I think you just got a little something got awakened in there, so we got to be careful.
Yeah.
Maybe take another rip and we'll calm it back down, put that beast away. So quick weed facts. So how about we were talking about edibles, vapes, and smoking flower last time, or one of those times recently, and you were kind of asking me about different effects and different ways of treatment and things. Colorado, so UC Colorado, so that's what University of Colorado Boulder.
Okay.
Big university system in Colorado. Obviously, in 2014, Colorado went completely recreational. So from 2014 to 2018, UC Colorado took some statistics on how many people wound up in the emergency room claiming any sort of a marijuana related illness. 9,933 something.
Are you
like
making
that.
these numbers up? These are real numbers?
I got it. We'll
Okay.
shoot out
You
the
know the
link.
source.
Just
Okay,
like I
go
don't,
ahead.
just like I didn't fuck around in the second podcast with my facts and my links. I'll get them to you afterwards.
Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, something like 9,000 plus edible marijuana related trips to the emergency room
Like
reported,
overdoses.
quote unquote overdoses.
Yeah.
For eating edible marijuana related issues.
Yeah.
That is up 3 times the
Shit.
amount in any time span prior,
Yeah.
any kind of 3 or 4 year time span that you'd look at prior.
So again, I'm not a cannabis connoisseur like you are. So what's fucking happening in Colorado that's not happening here? Because I know they've been around, they've been doing this obviously for 5 years longer than us. And I know we're not gonna, it's legalized. We're not going backwards, especially in a liberal state like Massachusetts. Like we're not taking marijuana off the fucking market.
No.
Like, so it's only gonna get to where Colorado is today. So where is Colorado today? What is this problem that you're talking about, and why is it happening?
Because they were one of the first pioneers for recreational marijuana. Obviously, now you can start, really kind of pulling away like some of their data and some of their statistics. So they're leading the way in like what's happening here. And the one downside, like you said, there's I think you challenged me at one point talking about, what are the effects? What is the dangers? Like what, this can't just be all fucking roses was kind of the point, the attitude and the point that you were making with me, which is totally fair. And I think this data kind of supports it. 3 times the amount of reported medical emergency room visits due to edibles or due to some sort of marijuana related illness. Basically, I went to Colorado.
Yeah.
I went to the pot shop for the first time. I ate a bunch of brownies and I wigged the fuck out. And then
And
I
you're a
thought my
person
heart
who-
was going to
and you're a
explode
person
and I
who has
had to
a
go to
lot
the
of-
hospital.
You this happened to you?
No, that's what that
Oh,
statistic
that's what's
says.
happening.
That's that statistic. If you think about that statistic,
Yeah.
that's what's happening.
Right.
Like that's basically like I went to Colorado, or I'm from Colorado and now it's legal.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying this shit. I tried one of these. It looks like a goddamn strawberry gummy bear.
Right.
And now the next thing I know, I was on the floor wigging my face off.
So, I mean,
and I didn't know what to do.
So no one is going into these pot shops or these what do you call them? Dispensaries.
Dispensaries. Yeah.
No one's going into these places and just and probably had and probably is like a rookie or a novice smoker, right? These are people that probably have had some exposure to marijuana in their life. They're not just walking in for the first time. So the people that are being
probably smoked a joint, you know how to get high. Yeah, you're not some like geek off the street, right?
So the people who are walking to these stores, they buy these edibles, and the people are just are not giving them any. They're not giving them any kind of instructions, or they're not giving them any kind of like feedback. They're just fucking eating a whole handful of gummies like you do if you just bought one in this fucking CVS.
That's my
or 7-Eleven.
So my guess is you go in, you're like, holy cow, there's some great fucking weed here. We can get all these different things, right? So you're picking out your cool flower, you're thinking that's awesome, and then they're like, by the way, here's all these other cool things. Here's chocolate bars, here's gummy bears, here's this, here's that, and of course you're an actual kid in a candy store.
Yeah,
grab a couple of those things,
right?
And as you're like rolling your joint or grinding up your weed for your bowl or whatever it is, you throw a
you're
couple of those
popping
gummies
shit,
in,
smoking shit,
trading them with your friends or whatever the hell's going on, because you're all there to have a good time. And the next thing you know,
you're
fucked up.
Right.
I think that's like classic.
So
classic story.
So what's the moral of that story then? So what are you saying?
So for me, I just think with one, you're just back up to your point real fast in your initial question. I think you'll see a lot more of this data start coming out in recreational states now. Now that we have, now that it's legal and it's easy to track and it's recreational, colleges, different institutions are going to start tracking that data on what's going on. Why are they related?
They're going to track emergency room visits, basically.
Sure. Anything, right? I mean, it's just more data that's going to be exposed now that it's a recreational thing. Anything that comes once it's brought out of the black market, quote unquote, now it's a regular thing. Now it's going to get tested more, right? So we're going to find more data, more interesting shit. But there's an example of,
what's the outcome of the data? What are they going to use the data for? They're going to analyze the data and say, okay, so people don't know how to fucking use weed, so therefore they're going to like limit the amount of.
I think we may get
THC
to a point
they're going to be able to put in, like, because right now is it a free for all? Like it's a little bit of regulation.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a free for all right now. I think we talked about, we got back into that topic about BAC.
Is there a section of the government, right? I know there has to be, obviously, but like,
not federally. State-wise,
right?
States set up commissions.
There's a state commission, and are these commissions like lobbied? Like, is it like are they given so much money to just stay the fuck out of everyone's business and let them do whatever the fuck they want, or are they actually in it to save or to make it safer for people to use cannabis?
I think you're probably alluding. I mean, I think there's probably a little bit of everything there. I wouldn't be surprised if you find a little bit of everything there. But back to my point about, we talked a little bit about BAC. We talked a little bit about.
I say this to my wife all the fucking time.
Well, I have my notes on there, but
I don't care. It's not on right now. You're not reading your notes. You're reading from your brain.
Well, now I am. Yeah. We talked a little bit about BAC and just how to measure, right? And this is, I think, another thing that kind of comes back to that a little bit about how, we haven't really figured out what the right measure for this stuff is, and
because
how many milligrams
brain,
of weed you should take in, and people process edibles a bit differently too.
Yeah.
But at some point,
because of metabolism or whatever.
Yeah. How much can we regulate? Like, I don't know. Maybe you can't avoid 9,000 ER visits, but somebody probably could
minimize it somehow.
Like, hey, you don't need 10 gummy bears, dude. You can have 2.
Right.
You're gonna be okay.
But again, but then does that come down to the government or the state and local government to say that a person can't buy more than one?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would see. It would probably come down to some sort of a regulatory commission with.
But that doesn't make any sense, because like you can walk in and buy like 8 gallons of vodka. No one's going to stop you from buying that. You can buy like 10 5-liter bottles and just drink them all in your car on the way home. And no one like this. So I don't think that's going to stop anyone from doing anything.
But we can still measure how drunk somebody is.
So you think they're just going to come out with some sort of level of technology?
Yeah.
And then everyone's going to have to sort of self-regulate, right? So someone's going to have to know, well, if I get pulled over, but then it comes down to just.
And how much alcohol can you actually buy in one place? I don't know. Can you really buy like.
I mean, I've
can you
walked.
buy like fucking
All I know is that I bought.
pallet of vodka? I don't
Either way,
Can you?
I know that
Without
I bought
beforehand?
enough to kill me.
Well, that's
So
fair, yeah.
whatever it is, whatever that limit is, it's
That's
sure as
fair.
hell more than what's gonna keep me alive. So
I just thought that was an interesting one in where it
Yeah.
is now legal and where pot tourism is booming. Well,
Yeah.
not now in the wake of what's going on right now,
Yeah.
but where
what's
in
the
these-
situation right now with this whole fucking thing? Because I can't imagine. I mean, again, we're talking about a population of people who are vulnerable, right? So we've
Yeah.
already listed off why is this virus, why is this crisis even more aggravating to them? And it's like I said, it's limiting their accessibility to
Yeah.
a number of things, their medications, their therapists, and what we're talking about marijuana as being another type of alternative treatment for mental illness. Now we're saying, what, can people still get it, or is it shut
to
down?
my
or what?
knowledge, I was looking at the New England Treatment Access over there in the place that we talk about in Brookline a lot. And to my
Yeah.
knowledge, it is only open to medical patients now, whereas it was recreational
So
prior.
that's-
I'm pretty sure that was their announcement recently.
Yeah.
They're still recreational out in their Northampton facility, but not.
But you see the fucking problem here,
the
right?
crowds,
I
huge
mean,
crowds standing, as
yeah.
we talked about, that huge
Right.
line. It's pretty tough to space that line out or make that socially distant and safe, I would imagine. So now
I
it's
mean,
appointment only. I think there's a lot of appointment only
Yeah.
type of setup starting to happen.
But as we talked about in one of our original podcasts about the steps that it takes for someone to get a medical license.
Oh, that's out. The
There's
door
no
right
one.
now.
Yeah, there's no one that can get
Yeah.
medically.
I mean, you
There's no
can.
license.
I think you can. You probably can still go to that doctor's office, but
I mean, you wonder actually if they're going to be like prescribed. If they might actually. This is an interesting fact, and I'm wondering, is there a way? I'm actually thinking now that it might be even get easier to get this script, right? Or I mean, I'm talking out of my ass because I have no idea what it's called to get this medical license. But I'm wondering actually, because of the level of stress that most people are going to be feeling, I'm wondering if actually going to be easier.
yeah, I mean, you're
And
talking
if-
about
and
anxiety.
maybe the Public Health Commission, because I don't know if they're monitoring how many licenses they're, like a physician or a psychiatrist or psychologist. I don't know who has to do it, but I don't know.
In Massachusetts, they're fine because they'll take as many as they can get because they're getting paid
Oh.
for a fee for everyone.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah,
I'm wondering
but
if it might get
it's a great
maybe
story
less.
for your doctor, of course.
Yeah.
Got anxiety because of this, and again, as I said to you,
And I say
Mass
that
is not looking to just hand them out either. Like you
Yeah.
do have to go get a record first
Yeah.
and then transfer it over. So,
But
Yeah.
what we're saying right now is that the people who could have been depending
not happening
on
right
this
now, brother. Yeah.
who don't have a medical license, who
I
have been
mean-
going to the regular dispensaries, can't get it.
How are you going to justify when they're trying to prioritize everything
Right.
they're trying to prioritize with the current healthcare system?
Right.
How would you justify
remember-
saying like, I want you to go give me a write up for anxiety
You know-
because I need weed?
And you know what's fucking
It's
funny?
tough.
Another story that I caught on to Philadelphia was at one point they had announced that they're going to shut down liquor stores.
Yeah, yeah,
Did you hear that?
in Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania?
And they did.
Yeah.
The state-run Pennsylvania liquor
right.
stores are shut down, but
Right.
at a private, there's also privatized stores,
No,
right? So
true, but
apparently, like state workers, they're just going to allocate state workers not to the stores
Right.
to other services, which
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
but it doesn't come across well in the news or on
no,
social media.
but that's what I'm saying.
or
So people
whatever.
people were buying like
They started. There was a run.
gazillion-
Yeah, there was a run. I saw lines. I saw pictures
like
of
people were
lines.
fighting over
Yeah.
like bottles of
Yeah.
like
Yeah. And then it was
I
announced
mean,
in New York at the same time.
Yingling. They
That
were like,
all
"It's the
state.
last case of Yingling. Get on that motherfucker.
Right. And there was actually, I saw it on Barstool. There was a tweet to the KFC radio that they all retweeted saying, like, thank God New York State deems all
Right.
liquor stores emergency services. So,
Oh my
or
god.
essential services or whatever.
Are they
So,
doing that in Boston? Who knows?
I mean, we're not there yet. So,
Right,
but
right.
but I would imagine grocery stores. I mean, anything that
Yeah.
supplies, any store that has supplies is going to get a
We-
tag.
We
of
used a
essential.
service called Drizzly. Have you ever heard
Yeah.
of Drizzly?
Oh yeah, I'm dialing it right after we get done with this. as a
Okay.
matter of
So
fact.
Drizzly is
I brought
basically
my last boom sauce over here, so it's gonna happen.
nice. Drizzly is like Uber for alcohol. You basically just call or you just use your app. You order whatever you want. So that like the first thing that happened when we were on shutdown and we all had to fucking come home. We were all working from home. Two different things happened. I went to the grocery store and did that thing, and my wife's on fucking Drizzly. And buys
Smart
like
gal.
3 cases of
Yeah.
wine and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
5-6 packs of beer. So at least what we know is if God forbid everything shuts down, we're gonna get really fucking drunk.
It seems to be the theme,
Yeah,
the general theme.
comes back to just getting wasted.
Right back to the beginning.
Comes
of the
back
show,
to fucking
yeah.
getting wasted and me sitting on the roof with my
with your
high
gun. Yeah.
my fucking high-powered rifle. My
Excuse me,
high-powered air rifle.
High-powered air rifle. Yes.
My fucking high-powered air rifle. I'm gonna shoot fucking squirrels and shoot fucking
slightly high off Super Lemon Haze.
Yeah, slightly.
Okay. Good. Well, that's all for weed facts for now. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
so-
you for indulging me for a minute, Eric.
What are we on? We're over an hour.
We're good. We're in.
Yeah, I think we're gonna fucking Will, man.
We're gonna smack. We're gonna smack Will around. Right?
You
We're
better.
gonna
I
find
mean,
him.
actually, I don't think we need Will.
Should we call him and harass him some more? some more or what? You're
Oh, I've been
probably pretty
harassing him. I'm
excited
like,
to
get,
get
I'm like,
him.
get your fucking ass out of bed,
Poor
man.
bastard.
I'm like,
all I'm
help
doing
us.
is fucking around right now. The poor kid's like an intern. Like he doesn't give a fuck about you or me.
No,
He's probably
not getting paid
sick.
shit.
And all I did was dick around the whole time while he was supposedly trying to help us, having a good time.
Well, all right. Well, Will, we hope you feel better. We hope you're with us the next time. If you're not dead, if you're dead, if you die, I will bring you flowers, like I brought Kirk flowers, and I did leave them for you, motherfucker. Someone must have taken them because I left them by your car. I know the fucking black Mercedes that you drive in.
Sick
Left it
weirdo.
right on the curb.
You're a sick weirdo.
I'm a sick motherfucking weirdo. I'm that fucking desperate chick trying to get that date. And guess what? I hope to God that this is the date. We'll see if this even fucking makes it on air. We'll fucking see. I'm gonna send this to fucking Will, and Will might be like,
He's gonna.
I'm
put
not
it
gonna
on.
post this.
The big guy said to put it on. He's gonna put it on. It's fine.
We're gonna sign off. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. Peace, be well, and that's it, man. Anything else you want to say?
No.
All right.
Super Lemon Haze.
Super Lemon Haze, motherfucker.
What is this?
Is it over?
We're running out of time.
I don't want to hear your excuses. No, it's not fair.
Where'd all the finals go?